Hey guys, it's Ashley from the Style Editrix, the fashion and lifestyle blog, and I'm here with a very special guest today, Gracie Mercedes of Style Me Gracie.
Hi!
If you guys just watched her 5 tips on her channel, we both just did a little video on how to be a fashion blogger, and I'm now doing tips 6 through 10. So if you haven't seen tips 1 through 5 yet, click above, head to Gracie's channel, otherwise stay right here for tips 6 through 10. Here we go! Okay, so number 6, engage your readers. I feel like this is a huge tip and something I had no idea about when I first started out.
Yeah.
People were commenting on my page and I'd be like, oh, that's so nice, but like, I don't know them. Like, what do I say? Like, what do you do? And,
Right.
you know, like it's
Totally.
kind of an awkward thing. You're like, oh, that's so sweet that they're interested, but
Yeah.
what do you do? And now I've learned this is something that like really connects you with people, and like that's how you relate to people, and that's what I love about the blog. The fact that you can discuss like fashion, beauty, lifestyle tips, whatever, with girls around the world.
I know, isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
And guys.
Hey guys. I love my guy bloggers, I will say that.
Yeah, it's true. I think it can be overwhelming sometimes, especially on social media, if you have like a lot of comments on either Instagram or Twitter or even Facebook. But it's really important to reply to people, even if it's just a simple thank you. And sometimes, I will say on Instagram, probably more than anything, if you have like 20 comments, it is hard to be like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe just leave one comment that says thank you to everyone, so if anyone goes back to it, they see that you've read their comments, because I think that's really important. But especially on the blog, I think you need to reply to every comment on your blog, and just, you know, engage with them, tell them how you feel about their comment, just say thank you if that's all you want to say. But that way your readers know that you're paying attention, that you appreciate that they're coming to your blog every day.
So tip number 7, this is a really good one. Set goals for your blog.
Yes.
So what do you want to come from your blog? Are you doing it for free clothes? Are you doing it to be the next social media PR guru for a big brand? Are you doing it to become a model? Like, what is the end game here? And make sure you write it down. Don't you think that's a really good tip?
Well, it's funny because I started my blog because I'm also a TV host, and I literally had my agent say to me at one point, you need to have an expertise. And at the time I was styling a lot. I was doing some personal styling, and I was like, well, I like fashion and I kind of style, so maybe I'll start a fashion blog. And that's how it started, and I like researched fashion blogs and all that. But I will say, like, once I had the blog, people just saw me as a fashion expert, and like that, it kind of was great. I was like, oh, this really worked, and I reached my goal. And now my goals are a little different. Now I'm like expanding and want my blog to be an extension of my brand. But yeah, like Ashley said, whether it's just as simple as like you want free clothes, or as expansive as you want to start an empire, you know, just make sure you know why you're doing this.
Yeah, I feel like when I started my blog, it was a completely different reason from what it is now. It was because I wanted to like be a fashion editor at a big magazine, and it was, you know, just like an online resume kind of thing. But then I really wanted to wake up and be my own boss every day and be creative, and so now I write down smaller goals and like be featured in Vogue, you know, work with this brand, work with X, Y, and Z, whatever. It's just little things like that, and it helps you keep focused on what the end game is.
Stay on track.
Okay, so tip number 8. Be you. This is a huge one, right? Don't imitate other people. You really have to like hone in on your own voice, your own style, and like really what you want to get across on your blog, you know, YouTube, whatever you're doing, social media channels. You have to stay true to yourself.
I think this is like so important because, like we said before, this market's really oversaturated, and the only thing that's going to set you apart is being you, because there's only one you. And I know we say this over and over again, but it's so true. And there is definitely a difference between, you know, being influenced by other bloggers and imitating other bloggers. Like, if you're trying to be a certain blogger, don't like wear exactly what they're wearing all the time, and don't shoot exactly what they're shooting all the time. Yes, every blogger shoots their food from up here, and every blogger does a flat lay of, you know, beauty products, and every blogger does their outfits and their posts and blah 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 blah. But make sure like what you're wearing and your voice is very true to who you are. I think that's like super important. I know for me, as soon as I was like more real about like who I am and where I'm from and like my Latin roots, and I'm an actor and I'm a wife and none of this, the more like honest I was to my readers about who I am, the better response I got.
Yeah, they're interested because you're different. So I say, when I started, I was really late to the game. People were like, be different. Like, what do you have to offer that's like different from every other blogger? And I was like, I don't know. And it's really not about like being some outlandish different person. It's just about being you and sharing your personal story. Like we said, they get personal. This is like really similar to that too.
Extension.
Yes. Okay, so tip number 9 is to streamline your brand. And you're probably like, what the heck is
what does that mean?
But really, it's kind of simple. First of all, you can just start with the name. You should be able to find, the brand all in one place. So mine is all the style editrix across the board.
Instead of having a separate Instagram or a separate Twitter for my blog and for me as a person, I think it's more important just to have one, so that people are not like, wait, should I follow her or should I follow her blog? I think it's really important to just have one thing, and whether you want to use your full name or whether you want to use your blog name, just make sure it is consistent across the board. Like on Instagram, on Snapchat, on Twitter, on Facebook, I'm Gracie Mercedes.
So smart.
Granted, on Facebook you can have like 50 fan pages, so I have like one for the blog and one for me, but I do think you need to streamline and make it all the same, and with that, the aesthetic should be the same.
100%. All your photos and any opinions that you put out there, make sure it's in line with your brand and what you want to come across as your message, because people are really going to judge you by that. So if you're like really political, make sure you're okay with that being on the blog too. If you're like writing on Facebook about like what president you're gonna vote for, is that gonna like alienate all your readers? Because be careful about that.
No, that's so true. That's a really good point. Like make sure you're who you are across the board. And now I think with Snapchat being such a popular thing, that it's getting super in trouble because they're being a certain way on Snapchat, which is probably who they really are.
Yes.
But but it's kind of conflicting with who they are
on the blog, like prim and proper,
and then they're like, woo! And then I'm drunk on Snapchat. See, I'm just drunk across all my channels.
Consistency is key.
Streamline.
Tip number 10 is the perfect way to close out the top 10 tips for you guys. Stick with it. This is not something that's gonna happen overnight. Would you agree?
I would 100% agree, you guys. I've had my blog, like I mentioned on my video, for almost 5 years now, and it wasn't until I was A, consistent, B, like really going for it and streamlining and being personal, and C, just kind of embracing being a blogger, that I started making money from blogging, that I started getting a following. It didn't happen overnight. It actually took a couple of years before it happened. I actually think it's happening pretty fast, actually, which is great.
It's crazy. I don't know. Everyone's different. You grow at different rates for sure, and I think it all depends on first of all, networking, like the connections. I came from E, so I had a lot of people in the industry that I already knew, so that helped me a lot. But I mean, I am still like so much smaller than I want to be. I want to grow my audience and readership, quadruple, tenfold, whatever. The sky's the limit, but it is like hard work doing it day after day and making sure you just keep like living and breathing like what you're putting out there, and I love it.
And with that, I want to mention, because so many people think, it kind of goes back to like why you want to be a blogger. So many people think it's such an easy job. It really isn't. I mean, yes, our lives are like fun and what we're doing is fun and what we love to do, but it is so much work and it's hard work and it takes a lot of work. So if you're gonna do this, stick with it, work hard. It's gonna take time. You need to build. But it is worth it because it's awesome.
So worth it. And if you follow our tips, you might get there a lot faster. Just saying. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And make sure you head to Gracie's channel if you haven't seen those top 5 tips. You can click above again to head there. And we will see you soon. Thanks.
Bye. Thanks for having me.